Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's look at some of the stocks on the move today here in Europe. I'm Caroline Hepker and I'm joined by our Bloomberg reporter Chloe Millay. Good morning, Chloe.
Good morning.
Let's start with HSBC. They're going big on Hong Kong. What about the investor reaction, though?
Yeah, they're actually down quite a bit this morning after announcing plans to privatize Hang Seng Bank, which is one of its Hong Kong subsidiaries that has been in quite a troubled spot lately. So HSBC owns about 63% of that bank and it will spend around $14 billion buying the shares it doesn't already hold. The problem that investors seem to have with this is that to keep its capital ratio within range, HSBC said it will have to refrain from buybacks for the next 3 quarters. So investors tend to want those buybacks. So that explains the shares being down this morning. From a strategic perspective, though, this does represent quite a big bet on Hong Kong and the time when there's lots happening there at the moment. Deal making is on the up again, it's rising again. But then at the same time, the banking sector is under a lot of stress from a real estate slump that has left a lot of banks with really bad commercial real estate debt. The CEO, George Elderi, said that the deal had nothing to do with the bad debt situation and that it was very much an investment for growth. But for now, investors aren't too keen on what that means for their shareholder returns, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. HSBC shares also trading in Hong Kong were lower overnight. Now, estate agents normally love a client with a budget, but the rumours around Rachel Reeves' upcoming budget is actually turning things a bit more sour in the property market. Just explain why. Yeah,
absolutely. So we have some of the key UK house builder names this morning down. So Taylor, Wimpey, Persimmon, Barrett Redrow. And that is because there's new data showing that there's even more pressure on the UK housing market at the moment. So we've had new research that shows that UK estate agents have turned pessimistic for the first time in 2 years, and that is due to those fears of tax rises and wider economic concerns. So a lot of that gloomy feeling can be attributed to those rising worries that there will be more tax increases in the budget in November as Chancellor Rachel Reeves really tries to plug that fiscal hole. And those tax rises will probably weigh even more on a housing market that's already not in the best spot. It's already had to deal with stamp duty increases in April, and just wider economic concerns. So some agents have said that the usual pickup post-summer has not materialized yet because buyers are actually delaying decisions until we get that budget. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But in the meantime, it seems like the house building sector doesn't have the best outlook so far.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to think that the stamp duty tax on property purchases goes from zero if you're buying the least expensive, so up to £125,000. But then if you're over 1.5 million, it gets up to 12%. 12% tax on the price, the value of that property that has to be paid. So it is a significant tax. Lloyds also has responded to the FCA's long-running motor finance saga. Just briefly on their share price.
Yeah, well, it put out a statement today saying they will have to set aside additional provision to compensate customers who were missold those car loans. It did not give a figure, but it said the provision might be material. It's already set aside £1.15 billion. It'll probably have to set aside another 500 million, and that is driving down the shares.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.